Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Go back to Africa is not the insult that some of these racist people think it is. It is actually a beautiful thing because not everyone's experience is the same as others. Some people had to flee war. Some people had to flee to save their lives because they said something against the government and the government is not happy with what they said, so they had to run away. And the same people, if you ask them, a lot of those people will tell you, if there was peace in my country, if I was never going to be at risk of losing my life, I will go back in a heartbeat. People leave their situation in Africa because they don't see a better way out of it. But that doesn't mean that it's everyone's experience. Not each country or each area, region in Africa is in conflict or in war. That's what the mainstream media wants you to believe. And that is what they've been pushing on us. And that is why a lot of Africans themselves start believing that the grass is greener on the other side. But that's not everybody's experience. And you can see that if you're on social media. For example, I was watching a video of this young lady. She is half Norwegian, half, I believe, Kenyan or Somalian. So she was talking about how she always gets comments like, go back to Africa, even though she's half Norwegian from her fellow Norwegians. She said she would gladly do it if she can. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
So I'm actually in Africa right now. Look how lovely it is. That's my view right now from my balcony. Do you hear the birds chirping? It's so nice. Are you happy now? Because I am. I'm very happy to be back home. The sun is shining, it's super warm, I just went to the beach. Life is good. I'm really loving life right now. For context, I have posted a video about a comment someone made to me in Norway, which is my country. I am half Norwegian, by a comment someone made to me when I was there, and I received comments like these telling me to go back home, then go back to Africa. And I always find these types of comments to be so funny because it's like, I rather be in Africa. Do you not realize how nice life is here? There is this, there are all these preconceived conceptions about what a life in Africa looks like. And I am very, very vocal about this because I grew up in between Norway and Kenya. I spent most of my childhood in Kenya. And I can very safely say, as someone who's proud to be both Norwegian and Kenyan and Somali, I am so proud of the countries that I call home, and I love being in Norway, I love being in Kenya. But I can say with so much confidence that living in Kenya was so much better, was infinitely better than living in Norway. And I know that's maybe hard for some people to fully grasp, because when you're in Norway, you're told, or we're told, that life in Norway is the best. Like, Norway is the best country in the world, and everyone else in the world wishes they were us, and we're just the best of the best. But the reality of things is that the world is so vast. There's so many amazing places in this world, and you can have an amazing life in so many other places. Like, my childhood in Kenya was so precious. Also for other contexts, I've also lived in many other countries. I've lived in the UK, I've lived in Portugal, South Africa. Like, I'm very well traveled. I'm a very multicultural person. I speak many languages. I've lived in a lot of places. I travel a lot. I think I have a very interesting perspective on this, like having experienced very different, living in different countries, right? And this attitude in Norway is that Norway is the best, and everyone wishes they were us, and everyone wishes they lived here. But the reality is that there's so much in this world to see, and there's so many amazing places to live, and you can have such amazing lives outside of Norway. And I am very vocal about this. I've always been very vocal about this because obviously these types of comments are something I've heard my entire life. And I've always been like, what were you guys talking about? Like, I want to be in Kenya. Will you pay for my flight ticket? If all these people being like, oh, go back home then. Like, please pay for my ticket. Like, I would love to go back to Kenya. Life is so amazing there. Kenya is such a beautiful country. Life there is so fun.
As you heard, she prefers to live in Kenya compared to Norway, and that is her experience. As I told you earlier, not everyone's experience is the same, and Kenya is a beautiful country, especially if you can afford it. You don't need to leave that country to go somewhere else and change your profession to be able to work 3-4 jobs. Not a lot of people, or not everyone, will do that. The racist people of these Western countries fail to understand that not everyone's circumstance is the same. And if some people, if they can actually have it their way, they'll go back and they don't have to worry about being discriminated against because of the color of their skin, or being treated like they're not human beings by people that have no respect for human life. So yeah, I think it was a great example that our sister gave. If it was up to her, she would live in Kenya, and she believes Kenya is a much better place than Norway. And by the way, don't let these people fool you using their mainstream media. The people I have personally interacted with, like older white people, why did you move to the continent? You know what they tell you? They tell you, there's no comparison. Look at the weather. Look at the way of life. Look at the quality of life. Look at the food that you eat. It's much better. There's no comparison, is what they tell you. But unfortunately, they lie to us that this is not the place to be, while they're packing their bags to come and take our spot here on the continent of Africa. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are.